Paris. Political panels here to weigh in. Terry Schilling is the president of the American Principles Project. Tristan Justice is a Western correspondent for The Federalist. Welcome to you both. Terry, what we did not hear from the president was the reasoning behind why he was stepping aside and ending his campaign, other than there should be some younger, fresher voices. But we don't know exactly what fueled his decision. Your thoughts about the Oval Office address?
Well, I think we all know the real reason why he stepped aside, which is that the veil that the mainstream media and his administration had been hiding under had been removed, right? The American people saw in that debate against President Trump just how feeble and how cognitively impaired President Biden has become, and they can no longer hide it. And so I think the real reason why he stepped aside is not to give new fresh voices a chance. He never would have run in the first place. I think he was 74 when he first ran. It was to stop the bleeding, right? They're looking at losing, giving Republicans up to 56 seats in the Senate if he stayed on. And I think that was the real main motivation, was political advantage.
Yeah, Tristan, maybe it was for fresher voices, for younger voices, but certainly not because Biden believes it's time for younger voices or fresher voices. We know that because the decision to step aside was made. It was a last-minute decision, or at least that was the way it was received by media, even by his campaign. The Sunday morning shows, his campaign representatives were on saying he is the nominee, and not but a couple hours later after those interviews, it was announced that he was stepping aside. So if he thinks it was time for fresher voices, younger voices, that decision was made literally this week. Tristan, your thoughts on the 12-minute speech?
Well, he didn't explain why he was actually, he didn't explain any of the questions surrounding his health. And I think the president owed that to the American people to explain what his health status is and what kind of part that played in his decision not to seek re-election. And I also don't think this was really entirely Joe Biden's decision. I think the Democratic Party elite made it pretty clear that they could either do it the easy way or do it the hard way. I think it was Nancy Pelosi who said that. And so I don't think it was actually entirely Biden's decision not to seek re-election. I think he was clearly pushed out.
Yeah. And Terry, did that give you confidence in the remainder of his term as president?
Absolutely not. It actually stokes a lot of fear. This, part of what, safeguards our country is when a president's running for re-election, they have to worry about voters supporting them. And now there's no one holding him accountable. And there was a dearth of accountability even before this. But now Joe Biden, who is obviously cognitively impaired, if you can't run for president, you can't be president, right? We let anyone in this country run for president, but it's a whole other thing to be president. It's a very scary time. And I just want to say that the idea that we're going to allow a president to resign via screenshot on Twitter is absolutely insane. It took way too long for him to address the nation. That should have been done day one.
Yeah, to end his re-election bid, though vowing to remain in office, and even still arguing for Supreme Court reform and, again, other objectives by this administration. Would we see that carried on by a potential Harris administration or campaign? Terry Schilling, Tristan Justice, thank you both. We appreciate it.